Good evening. Thank you all for being here. I want to welcome you to the Holocaust Center of Pittsburgh's annual Yom HaShoah Commemoration program. You might have noticed that I'm not Barbara Shapira, who would normally be welcoming you here as our co-chair. Unfortunately, Barbara is feeling under the weather and can't make it tonight. We wish her a speedy recovery and thank her for everything she does on behalf of the Holocaust Center. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Emily Loeb. I started working at the Holocaust Center in January, but I'm not new to the center. I've actually volunteered for years as a generation speaker, sharing my grandparents, Ilsa and Walter Kohl's story of how they fled Nazi Germany and survived the Holocaust. It is therefore a great personal honor for me to get to welcome you back for another year and to our first in-person Yom HaShoah commemoration since 2019. It is so wonderful to be back in person, marking this important day with everyone here, as well as the over 250 people we have watching via live stream. Since the founding of the Holocaust Center in 1980 by a dedicated group of survivors and their families, the center has remained a living memorial to those who perished, those who survived, and their descendants. They made a commitment then, one which we still promise to uphold, to never forget and to always remember these stories of humanity and resiliency. As we continue to lose survivors both locally and internationally, never has the message of never forget been more important. Stories of survivors and carrying on their memory is truly at the heart of all that we do at the Holocaust Center. We are honored to bring some of those survivors' stories to life tonight with the centerpiece of tonight's program, a film featuring several survivors discussing the questions: what does Holocaust Remembrance mean? Why is it important? Why should young generations continue to learn? As the grandchild of Holocaust survivors, I know how important it is for descendants of survivors to share these stories so they will never be forgotten. For the candle lighting for the 6 million portion of this evening's commemoration, we are honored to be joined by children, grandchildren, and even a few great-grandchildren of survivors. They are here to show that these legacies will continue through the generations to come. We are also pleased to showcase some of our new partnerships this year. This is our first Yom HaShoah as part of the Reimagined Tree of Life organization. Chatham University has been our academic home since 2021, and we have engaged 2 talented Chatham University students, Sean McIntosh and Anna Bitar, to interview local survivors and create a powerful film that you will see as the centerpiece of tonight's program. And we are honored to be joined by Flavio Chamis and Pittsburgh Symphony Orchestra and professional musicians who will be playing various works by composers killed or persecuted during the Shoah. I also want to note a small program change. Debbie Leuchter-Stuber, child of survivors Kurt and Edith Leuchter, will be lighting the 3rd candle this evening in the place of Dr. Melissa Marks, who's unable to attend. I want to take a moment to also thank the advisory board of the Holocaust Center of Pittsburgh, as well as the leadership of the Reimagined Tree of Life organization. I also particularly want to thank the Yom HaShoah Committee for their time and planning for tonight's program. And finally, I want to thank my fellow staff members of the Holocaust Center of Pittsburgh, Cindy Carafa, Christina Sahovi, Noah Schoen, and Marcel Walker. Thank you also to Nick Haberman and his colleagues with the Light Education Initiative, Jackie Reese of Tree of Life, as well as our intern, Julia Gaetano. Please remember that this is a commemorative program, and you should refrain from any applause during the program, including after music, and make sure to silence or turn off your phone. Thank you again for joining us this evening. And now, PSO Concertmaster David McCarroll Tatiana Mead-Shamis and Angela Park will perform Gideon Klein's String Trio.
Anim Amin, page 8. Please join me. Anim Amin, Anim Amin, Anim Amin, Memona Shelema, Befiat HaMashiach, Befiat HaMashiach, Anim Amin, ואף על פי שיתממע עם כל זה אני מאמין, אני מאמין, אני מאמין. If you're able to, please rise for the Gamalei on page 9. מלא רחמים, שוכן ממרומים, המצא מנוחה נכונה, תחת כנפי השינה, במעלות קדושים וטהורים כזוהר רקיע מזהירים את נשמות כל אחינו בני ישראל, אנשים, נשים וטוב, שנטבחו ושנחנקו ושנשרפו ושנהרגו בגן עדן תהי מנוחתם. אנא בעל רחמים, הסירם בסתר כנפיך לעולמים, וצרור בצרור החיים את נשמותיהם. אדוני הוא נחלתם, וינוחו ושלום על משכבותיהם. ונאמר Amen. You may be seated.
So I was born July 28, 1938. When I was born, they said it was Bukovina. After that, they changed from Bukovina to Ukraine, from Ukraine to USSR to Romania. So I was 2 years old when we were driven into concentration camps. Like I said, I remember things that since I was three and a half, although for years I didn't want to remember. There are things that you saw there and you heard that and it was done to us that you cannot imagine. These people could be so cruel. It's sad. It's sad. How should I put it? I hope it's never, never going to happen again. But there is still so much ignorance. There's a lot of people who still don't know what Holocaust means. There's a lot of people who are going to say it did not exist, we made it up. And those are the people who have to know what went on. Because what happened to me could happen to somebody else. That's why I think we all should speak out. As many we left, speak out and tell about the Holocaust. Young people should know what happened. I think should be a class about the Holocaust, about genocide, and every school, every university, every church, every synagogue, all over. Young people should be taught.
My name is Moshe Baran. I was born in 1920 in Poland. To celebrate Yom HaShoah, it likes to celebrate life and death. if you try to forget it, there's something wrong with you. What can young people do? First of all, they should know the history, the origins, how it all developed. And when they talk about it, they should be talking intelligently, and they know what they're talking about. I'll talk to anybody who wants to know. It should not be forgotten. It's just another incident in history. It should be remembered, because if you don't remember, you do it again.
Carol Zawatsky. I'm the CEO of the Tree of Life. So my father, Murray Zawatsky, fought in the Battle of the Bulge. He had a Purple Heart and Bronze Star and many other medals. And he was a liberator in Austria at Mauthausen concentration camp. It was something that was really difficult for him to talk about. And I worked at the U.S. Holocaust Memorial Museum during a time that we did a special exhibition on the American Liberators. So it was a really beautiful time to connect with my father and learn more about the role of the 11th Armored Division, of which my father was a part, and about his experience being a liberator. And one of the standout moments that I was able to have with my father was that year in the Capitol Rotunda. During the Days of Remembrance, we were honoring all of the liberators. So I brought my father, and my father wore all of his medals. And when they marched in with the Trophy of the Colors and the 11th Armored Division, and my father was standing in the Capitol Rotunda, it was a beautiful experience for us to be able to share together as father and daughter. Why should we remember the Holocaust? Why not just move on? I mean, it was really bad and a terrible moment in history. So why shouldn't Jews and the rest of the world just move forward and just forget about the bad stuff? And I believe that we have to remember about the Holocaust, about every life that was lost, so that we remember every victim group. That we remember Jehovah's Witnesses and the disabled, and that we remember the LGBT community, and we remember Roma and Sinti, and we remember every Jew that was lost. And that those of us who are here have to work every day toward making the world a better place and assuring that the Holocaust never happens again in another place. So as a young person, how do you help others remember? I think one of the most important parts is to keep every story alive. That resiliency, that perseverance, and so often the role of the upstander, the role of the person who was a resistor. And how can each and every one of us every day work toward being an upstander and a resistor?
My name is Sam Shear. I was born December the 25th, 1925 in Poland, the city of Będzin. In 1939, the German come into my town. The only thing I will say, there's people who start to get scared. They start to dynamite my beautiful synagogue in Będzin. Was built in the 1300. Most of the stuff was brought in from Italy. Beautiful paintings, and some of the people who were still in the synagogue, when they started to shoot around, some older people like rabbis were studying in the synagogue. They started to run out, and they were shot. Okay. In 1940, I was standing in the line in the city of Będzin, Poland. A truck comes over, picked up all the young people, and took us away to a concentration camp. My age was 13 years old. That was before my bar mitzvah in 1940. As you know, when I went down to the camp, what happened they put a line up in the front of my first camp because I was in 5 different kind of concentration camp. I spent 5 years in a concentration camp. And I tell you the reason why I'm in so many camps. So when I arrived in the concentration camp, what they done, they told us to line up the kids, I would say, who took us by truck away. And they shaved our heads, told us to take off all our clothes, all our belongings on the floor. And then I come an assessment, this was a German murder, and told us that you are here because we want you to work here. I know that some people still don't believe we had a Holocaust. People were dying. We have to educate the young children. They should understand what was going on. We should have peace with everybody, you know? We should hate each other because, see, the Jewish people are no different than other people.
Born in Bulgaria, in the capital city of Sofia, in 1929. I'm now 93-year-old, and I remember everything from Bulgaria. The Yellow Star, and we were subject to many restrictions. We become second-class citizens. And finally, we were in ghettos. This is not something trivial. It is 6 million people systematically killed by a government. It is serious thing. And if you heard it once and twice and three, there is new population coming after you, new generation. They don't know it, what really happened. Or they heard Holocaust, yes, but what is the Holocaust, they do not know. And the best way to know is from people who survived, and to know how people can be indoctrinated. And they will not know it if it is not repeated every year. People are the same every place, and I believe that anybody can be susceptible to indoctrination. It is deeply implanted for years and years that the Jews are not equal to us. You know, there is such thing even today. This is what I think that the Holocaust supposed to be memorialized every year, and people have to be reminded about it.
We invite everyone to rise in body or spirit as we join together in the words of the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, be'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon, b'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'gala v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach le'olam le'omei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudashah b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tush bechata v'nechemata da miran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imramav Huya Aseh Shalom, Aleinu v'al Kol Yisrael, v'imru, Amen. Please be seated.
In a world of total moral collapse, there was a small minority who mustered extraordinary courage to uphold basic human values. These were the righteous among the nations. To this day, they stand in stark contrast to the mainstream sentiments of indifference, complicity, and hostility that prevailed during the Holocaust. Contrary to the general trend, these rescuers regarded the Jews as fellow human beings who needed their help and showed them compassion and dignity. There were different degrees of aid. There are anecdotes of some people who would purchase additional food at their market, then covertly give these surplus provisions to their Jewish neighbors in hiding. Others directed Jews to people who could help them. Some sheltered Jews in their homes, on their farms, or within their covenants. The now famous stories, such as those of Irina Sendler, Oscar and Emil Schindler, Raoul Wallenberg, and others, show people who use their careers, privilege, and positions of power to rescue Jews. The forms of help extended by those who are the righteous among the nations include hiding Jews or aiding Jews in hiding, providing counterfeit papers and false identities, and smuggling and assisting Jews to escape, even if it meant putting their own selves in peril. Most rescuers were ordinary people. Some acted out of political, ideological, or religious convictions. Others were not idealists, but merely human beings who cared about the people around them. In many cases, they never planned to become rescuers and were wholly unprepared for the moment in which they had to make such a far-reaching decision. They were ordinary people, and it is precisely their humanity that touches us and should serve as a model for us all. We light this candle in honor and memory of all of those who are righteous among the nations.
Starving Children, William N. McKinney, Sergeant, 978th Combat Services Supply, 1st Army. 2 little Jewish orphans clung to me for 2 days. I was 6'2", 19 years old. They were Paul and George, aged 4 and 6. They clung to my legs, followed me everywhere. Our outfit was stopped for these 2 days just outside of Buchenwald at Weimar. The camp had just been liberated. I noticed them eating from our garbage bin. I went to them, and after much effort, they explained to me how the Germans had made them watch as they killed their parents. I gave them my mess kit, and they were so hungry they began eating from the one mess kit. After much explaining, I got them to let one eat while I went to get a second mess kit for the other. I wanted to adopt them and bring them to America at the end of the war. but I was informed by the authorities that this would be impossible. Paul and George would be placed in an orphanage with the rest of the displaced children. I've tried to locate the two boys, but have never heard another word about them. Still, I often wonder, I know they're in their 50s now, if they found good homes, had decent meals, warm clothing, and mainly love. I light this candle in memory of Sergeant McKinney, as well as the thousands of other brave soldiers, nurses and medical corps members, and military intelligence officers who liberated the prisoners of the Nazis, rendered aid to those in need, and ushered survivors into their lives after the Holocaust.
More than 16 million men and women served in the United States Air Forces during World War II. Over 400,000 service members perished while serving our country during the war years, and another 670,000 were wounded. These men and women were raised on the Great Depression, where every penny was sacred and every meal appreciated. They grew up to enter World War II with the belief that they could preserve the safety and restore the economy of the United States while also liberating other nations overseas, maintaining peace throughout the world, and fostering democracy and stability abroad. They have been dubbed the greatest generation in hindsight for everything they experienced in just a few short decades as children and young adults. Many of these World War II veterans from our country returned home to attend college or purchase houses on the GI Bill, building better lives for their own families and truly embodying the definition of the American dream. American troops fought in Europe, Asia, and Africa, and when the war was over, they remained on those continents to rebuild and assist with peacekeeping efforts. As one particularly famous WW2 veteran, General Dwight D. Eisenhower, later stated, "We know something of the cost of that war. We were in it from December 7th, 41 to August of 45. Ever since that time, we have been waging peace. It has had its ups and downs, just as the war did." I light this candle tonight in honor of the men and women of the Allied troops who courageously fought and served, came to the aid of the ill and wounded, and assisted in the aftermath, and died in the battles of World War II, and whose work fortified our home front.
Never say that you now go on your last way, though darkened skies may now conceal the blue of day, because the hour of which we've hungered is so near. Beneath our feet the earth shall thunder, we are here. From land of palm trees to the far-off land of snow, we shall be coming with our torment, with our woe, and everywhere our blood has sunk into the earth, shall our bravery, our vigor blossom forth. We'll have the morning sun to set our day aglow. Our evil yesterdays shall vanquish the foe. But if the time is long before the sun appears, then let this song go like a signal through the years. This song was written with our blood and not with lead. It's not a song that summer birds sing overhead. It was a people amidst burning barricades that sang this song of ours with pistols and grenades. So never say you now go on your last way, though darkened skies may now conceal the blue of day, because the hour for which we've hungered is so near. Beneath our feet the earth shall thunder, we are here. Sag nicht keinmal, als du gehst im letzten Weg, Gott Himmeln bleien verstellen bläue Tag. Kommen wird noch unser ausgebänkte Schau, es wird abbeugt an unser Trott mehr seinen da. Von grünen Palmenland bis weißen Land von Schnee, wir kommen an mit unser Pein, mit unser Weh. Und wo gefallen ist a Spritz von unser Blut, sprotzen wird dort unser Gwurre, unser Mut. Es wird die Morgensonne begilden uns dem Heind, und der Nächten wird verstindet mit dem Feind. Nur ob versammen wird die Sonne in dem Kajor, wie a Parol soll gehen das Lied von Dort zu Dort. Das Lied geschrieben ist mit Blut und nicht mit Blei, sind nicht kein Liedl von a Vogel läuft frei. Das hat a Volk zwischen fallen dicke Wind, das Lied gesungen mit Naganes in die Hand. Da sag nicht keinmal, als du gehst im letzten Weg, Gott Himmeln bleien verstellen bläue Tag. Kommen wird noch unser ausgebänkte Schau, es wird abbeugt an unser Trott mehr seinen da.
Thank you all for attending. Figured I wanted to let everyone know it's over. Thank you very much, and we really appreciate everyone coming out and joining online.